I have restarted. Welcome everybody. I have restarted to make sure that we can connect up with Lone Madrone, as it looks like they were trying and there were some issues. So hopefully they will hop back on and be ready to cook for us. Nothing like sitting back and letting somebody else cook for you, right? Like I said, this is Chef Jeff Scott, this mouthful, from Lone Madrone Winery. It is a Rhone Ranger winery, and we are going to be pairing up with him, and he's going to be using our tangerine olive oil and our soon-to-be released maple syrup. So hopefully they'll hop on soon, and we'll be able to sit back and watch him cook. Thank you everybody for joining us. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's been crazy. It is such a wacky holiday season. And I hope everybody's just hanging in there. That's what we're all doing. Hence, I mean, come visit us in Paso if and when you can, because we are surrounded by wineries. Hey, hi. Hello. Welcome, welcome. So, Chef Jeff, you have this fantastic history in LA working with being a private chef for celebrities and wine club collectors or wine collectors, and we stole you up, and you're ours now here in Paso, which is understandable because Paso is a place that you can fall in love. But how did that happen?
Well, it was 14 years ago now, and I had met Neil Collins when I was up doing an event over at Everly Winery many years ago. I went around and started doing some food.
Oh, we can hear you. Yeah, you muted for a little bit.
Okay, great.
Now.
The story goes, I was riding around Paso with a wine collector in Los Angeles that I had been working with, and we were writing a book on cheese and wine pairing. And I met Neil Collins when he was working at Talbot Creek. And making so many amazing varietals. We stopped to do some cheese and wine pairing, and 6 hours later we started formulating a business to possibly do food and wine up here in Paso Robles, and moved up in 2006 and have been cooking here in Paso ever since, and been having a great time with all kinds of great wineries. But our home base has been Lone Madrone, and we really enjoy working with them, and we love the wines, and we do vineyard lunches at the winery every Saturday and Sunday when we can.
Right. Who knows? Whichever Saturday, Sundays that might be. That's fantastic. I actually didn't know that there was food there on the weekends. That's good to know.
Yeah, we've been doing that for quite a long time. We do hot chicken sandwiches and truffle grilled cheese on Saturdays, and we do famous burger Sundays, which we've been doing for 10 years on Sundays, and now we're going to be delivering them until we can get back to doing it. So everybody can get on the Lone Madrone website and find out how to deliver food or get food delivered to your house this weekend.
Oh, okay. That sounds fantastic. I mean, what's better than door-to-door service? My goodness. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I think a lot of us, especially locals, are trying to figure out how to support, and that is a genius way of doing so. So that's good to know. Okay. So just hop on the website and that'll explain how to order food. Question, is the wine delivered as well?
You can request for some Lone Madrone wine to be delivered, and it will be delivered by the winery to your house. Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, well, hey, all the guys out there looking to figure out what their dates are going to be, you got it right there. You're welcome. Go get yourself a scented candle, and Lone Madrone will do the rest. Well, Chef Jeff, you are going to be pulling together a beautiful side for us today. It just speaks to soul food to me, to food that will feed the soul, I guess I should say. Just warmth and what we need right now. You are doing a brown butter farro, and are you incorporating butternut squash, or did I make that up?
I'm incorporating acorn squash today.
Acorn squash. There we go.
Got it. It can be served as kind of a healthy side dish for holidays where non-healthy food is notorious. This is a healthy way to have a holiday-themed side dish to your turkey or ham.
Perfect. I'm constantly looking for a side that is a little bit more light and doesn't make me feel guilty beyond compare afterwards. So this is a fantastic addition. So you are using our tangerine and the new maple syrup that we're going to be unveiling soon. And this is a bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Talk to me about why you chose to use this, because I mean, right off the bat, people think syrup, they think, okay, breakfast foods and done. So how did you decide to incorporate it? And yeah.
Well, when you use the acorn squash, you cut it into about 8 pieces, and you're able to roast it with the skin on. It's part of the health benefit, all the nutrients being in the skin. But when you roast acorn squash, you roast pretty fast when it's sliced. So you want to add some type of a sugary element to it so it caramelizes when you roast it. And you certainly could use clover, honey, or even plain sugar, but I love the flavors of maple syrup. And when I was told about the bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, I thought it was such an incredible thing to do. I think we should even drizzle some over the top of the dish at the end today. But this product is so fantastic. I made sourdough French toast the other night with it. We were in the kind of mood to throw caution to the wind, and we made sourdough French toast with the bourbon barrel maple syrup at 9 o'clock at night, which is not always a great idea, but it was so good, and I slept so good that night.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. You're going to have people knocking at your door. Watch out. Well, I'm going to stand back and let you take over. I'm very excited to see how you pull it all together. It sounds like something, yeah, healthy, and that we can all take back into our kitchens.
Well, what I'll do is we've been in the kitchen kind of working towards getting things done for the weekend as well, and I still have staff kind of working around me a little bit. And so we put together the components of the dish, and I'll explain how we did that, and then plate it for you so you can see. And I'll move back and try to get plates and things like that in the view for you. I also have an open bottle of Lone Madrone wine, which is an excellent idea when you're cooking in the kitchen.
Which wine is that?
So the wine that we're pairing with the dish today is 2015 Points West Red. It's a beautiful Rhone-style blend of all West Side vineyards. It is super smooth and drinking really at its peak, in my opinion, right now. And the components in this dish are going to pop the wine, and vice versa. I think that after you take a sip of the wine, you're going to want to take another bite of the food. So I'll tell you about what we did.
Yes, please.
So using Farro. Farro is an emmer wheat. It's an ancient grain, and it's extremely good for you. It's high in amino acids and goes through your system, releases its proteins very slowly, similar to sweet potatoes. And so it's a healthy grain for you, a healthy wheat. The best way to cook it is in pasta method. So I add boiling water, bringing it up to a boil with salt, and then adding the Farro to it. It takes a good 15-20 minutes to cook, but you cook it the way we would cook pasta, just for quite a bit longer. After it's just softened at about 20 minutes, we strain it out, just like we would strain out pasta, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and put it in a bowl. While it's resting in the bowl, I added some dried currants and dried wild blueberries, and I browned some butter on the stove in a pan. It takes about 5 minutes to do on medium-high heat. The butter comes up to almost a nutty quality, and it smells like cookies at that point. Poured it over the Farro, then let it sit for a little while and seasoned it. And that Farro I like to let sit for a little while because it absorbs the flavors just in a warm place on top of your stove. Now while that's happening, we roasted off acorn squash. And the acorn squash has several different components in it. This is the acorn squash when it's roasted, after it's been sliced and it's been roasted. The first thing I did was salt and pepper it, then drizzle some of the bourbon barrel aged maple syrup over the top of it, just a little bit of oil, and then the seasoning I finished it with is one of my favorites. It's called Garam Masala. There are many different types of Garam Masala. But Garam Masala is an amazing Indian spice that incorporates cinnamon, cumin, coriander, fenugreek, and it's got fantastic flavors that are reminiscent of Indian flavors, but also have a little bit of a holiday spice to it as well.
Right.
We roasted that in the oven for about 20 minutes and took it out. and now it looks like this, as I showed you before. And those are the main components of the dish. So I'll show you what the farro looks like. In addition to the currants and the dried wild blueberries, the farro also has toasted hazelnuts in it to give it a little bit more crunch. And so we take the farro to your dish. I'm going to move my phone a little bit so you can see a little bit better. There's my stove. My stove is very happy to be here today too.
It has a job. It's working. That's a good thing.
And I'll put the farro on the platter.
I have a question about browning butter because I go 0 to 60 really quickly. I go from here's some butter to smoke.
Butter, black butter.
So yeah, yeah, kind of crusty butter. So where's that middle point? How do I know? Are you constantly stirring it? How much butter are you putting in?
It's a great question because on the recipe I've got down, it's not a large amount of butter. I would say just about 1/4 of a stick of butter.
Okay.
But, yeah, and that goes into a pan. The heat is about medium to medium high, and you're constantly watching it. But one of the tricks to browning butter is not stirring it at all, just letting it sit and form its own concoction. The thing about brown butter is it's milk solids that are browning. And so if you stir it around, those solids are disturbed and the butter doesn't brown correctly or it's easily burned. So the trick to browning butter is looking at it the whole time. It's not like water. It will brown if you watch it the whole time. And taking it off as soon as you smell that cookie kind of flavor to it. The cookie kind of smell, aroma. Taking it off the stove immediately at that point. There are other tricks that are used to brown butter. You can squeeze a little bit of lemon in it as soon as you smell the browning part, and it'll stop the cooking process. For this dish, because it's pairing with the red wine, and we already have a little bit of the tangerine oil that we're going to finish it with, it wasn't necessary to use the lemon in it. But the key to browning butter is staying with it the whole time. Just stay there and watch it happen because it's a beautiful process. An old French chef told me once that if you can learn how to control butter, you can be a great cook for the rest of your life. And so I think we should all adhere to that.
Well, that speaks a lot to my cooking skills and is very, very accurate. So.
Well, let me show you how we're going to finish this. So I plattered up the farro like this on the platter. All the ingredients in it at this point. I always check for seasoning. So before I put it to finish it in the pan, I did salt it again with salt and pepper. Never miss an opportunity to season. Even though you have salt in the water when you boil the water, even though you might have salted it a little bit just as it came out, always take the opportunity to taste and season again. It's a mistake that's commonly made because that's what kind of gives food its sparkle, is that final seasoning at the end. So I'm going to reach behind me and I'm going to get the acorn squash. Acorn squash again. It's totally roasted, and you can eat the skin and everything on it.
And how thick are those slices that you did? Because I know they probably shrink up a bit once they have been cooked.
This is what they look like cooked, and this is about the same size. It has shrunk up a little bit, but this is the size that I cut it at as before I cooked it as well.
Okay, perfect.
A couple other things we're going to do to finish it is I'm going to drizzle a little bit more of this amazing maple syrup on it because I'm really into this maple syrup right now. Is there the possibility of getting a larger bottle of this for me?
Right. Can I have the vat backed up into the garage? Right. Yeah. There's so many, and that's the problem, is there are so many good things to be able to do with this, making cocktails and cooking. And I love the fact that you've brought it in so that people can't think outside of the waffle, you know? Absolutely.
I'm going to drizzle it with a little of the Pasolivo tangerine olive oil. For years, I've used the tangerine olive oil. It's one of my favorite things to do if I'm having people over. Just some really high quality sheep's milk feta cheese with a drizzle of this tangerine olive oil and a little bit of mint over the top is a fantastic way to garnish a cracker at your house.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing. Oh, goodness. I will be making brownies with this tomorrow, but it's the boxed kind. But I honestly, I feel like I'm cheating, but people fall in love with it, so I'm gonna claim it.
I think that you're making chocolate brownies with it.
Yes, sir.
I think that the chocolate and citrus is often overlooked. I think it's one of the great combinations and should be involved in more desserts for sure. If you think about like a classic chocolate souffle, is always garnished with a little bit of Grand Marnier, the similar flavors to the tangerine olive oil.
Yep, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that absolutely makes sense.
Well, when we garnish this dish, I use sage as a garnish today, and I fried a little bit of sage. Frying sage is a fantastic thing to do. It's a really great garnish. It's a little bit dangerous to do in your kitchen. If you start with a sauce pot, just a little bit of oil in the bottom of it, and bring that up to 350 degrees. If you have a thermometer, it's great. Then you put the sage in there, and it'll pop and explode a little bit. You get a little bit of oil all over your stove, but hopefully not all over you. Then you take it out with a strainer, and it'll be nice and crispy, and it has a really toasty flavor. So
I have always wondered about that because I've had that at restaurants and I fell in love with it, but I had no idea what had transpired to create it. So that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah. It looks like this when it's done. So I'm going to sprinkle some of it on top of our dish. I use a lot of herbs in our kitchen. Another herb that I just got in from a purveyor today is fresh chervil. And chervil is a beautiful herb. You don't see it as often, but if you can get it, it's fantastic to use. It has a light anisette quality to it. Tastes kind of like fennel a little bit, and is a beautiful garnish also. So just because I have it today, we're going to garnish with it as well. And so if you were to have your holiday table and the meats that you're presenting and many other things that you like to have, I think this is an amazing side dish with it as well. Really healthy, whole farro grain, roasted acorn squash with bourbon barrel maple on it, some garam masala spice, and crispy sage. The dried fruits that are in the dish, currants and blueberries, are what are reminiscent about the wine pairing. Two things about the wine pairing. A lot of people overlook the idea of texture in wine pairing. The farro has a lot of texture. The acorn squash with the skin on it has a hint of texture too. And the wine is a very smooth Rhone blend. And so the dish, in mirroring it, should have a smooth element, but also a little bit of texture to it too, so that you can see the flavor and the texture in the wine pop. So I think it's a great pairing together. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. So if anybody's drinking it this time of the day, I think that's a great idea also. And,
yeah. I agree. I feel it's 2020. It's Friday. It's the holidays. There are so, yeah, if anybody ever needs to be validated on when to and when not to, the whole 5 o'clock somewhere thing went right out the window when it turned 2020.
Well, we're tasting today, so we're not drinking, I guess. So that's the fine line.
That's the classy way to do it. Yes.
That's right. So again, Points West Red by Lone Madrone. It's just a beautiful wine. Again, showing right now all kinds of flavors of earth and terroir, and a little bit of cherry, currant, and some blueberry in the nose too. So if we take a bite of this, I feel a little bit of the chew in my mouth from the hazelnut and the farro. Then go to the wine. It's a really refreshing pairing. You get all the earth and all of the texture of the farro. The wine has great acidity to it too. So it's washing the dish down a little bit, creating the ability for your palate to have another bite and another sip of wine. I think that's what a good wine pairing should be.
So what protein would you pair up with that wine too to basically create a whole meal?
My favorite thing to do with this wine is small birds like Cornish game hen would be a really great thing to cook with this. I've also done duck with this wine very successfully. Of course, you could do turkey, but turkey, as great as it is just kind of a blank palate, so there's many wines you could do with it. But this wine likes small game bird a little bit better, I would think. So if you had a chance to roast Cornish game hen, which also goes really well with flavors like tangerine olive oil, pour this wine and just do slices of the Cornish game hen or pieces of the Cornish game hen over the top of this Farro, I think you have a really great night.
That sounds gorgeous. Yeah, and that's perfect for this time of year. I always feel like that's more of a wintry fall type flavor too. So it's perfect together. Wow. Okay. And then just to make sure if people are joining us now, to cover the fact that Saturday, Sunday, they can check in on the website and actually get food and wine dropped off at their doorstep.
That's correct. What they do is my phone number is listed, and you'll just go ahead and give me a call, and we'll take down your information, and we will deliver the Saturday vineyard experience to you and the Sunday vineyard experience to you this weekend, and as long as we can. We did it during the last lockdown as well, and everybody had a great time, and you sat in your backyard in the springtime, and today you can sit around the fire and have an oak grilled burger if you'd like.
Oh gosh, that sounds amazing. And just a little bit of a change up from the norm, and that's what we need right now, is something different. So hop on Lone Madrone Winery's website and go ahead and order some good food for Saturday, Sunday, and some wine. And then is Lone Madrone shipping right now?
I know that Lone Madrone is shipping. Again, all that information is on their website. I'm sure they're happy to ship you some great holiday packages. I know they have specials on holiday wines right now. That'll be great to have. I don't think we can have enough wine around our table, especially this holiday.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Yeah, if people start talking politics, you'll need all the wine you can handle. So get online, check out their wines. The minute that stuff starts lifting up again, hopefully soon, go check out their winery. It is gorgeous. Maybe go there for the weekend. And is it lunch that you do, or is it lunch, dinner? What time period do you guys do food?
Saturdays and Sundays we do food from 11:30 to 2:30 at the winery.
Okay.
Generally, and they're always well attended, and they have just a great amount of outdoor space at that winery. So tables are distanced and people feel safe. And I hear it every weekend. You know, this is such a great alternative for us if we don't feel comfortable possibly being in a place where there's a lot of people. Everything's really spaced out and really nicely. And great views of the vineyard. And I'm standing there cooking food and drinking wine as well.
I mean, I understand why you moved here now. That's a pretty good setup.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's an honor to be able to cook and live in this area. And most of the products we use are from local artisans like yourself. And there's just no greater way to cook in the world at this point. So yeah, it's a real pleasure to be here.
I absolutely agree. Well, I definitely want to get over there at some point when everything is freed up. And I'm sure you'll get a lot of people touching base and keeping you busy this weekend and the following weekends, because we're kind of over it. We're overcooking for ourselves. Most of us would burn our butter, let's put it that way. So it's nice to have someone cooking for us that would not, would brown it instead. And the recipe for this will be on our website. The bundle, which is this bundle right here, will eventually be able to be picked up. This guy, of course, is the new release. It is in the optional holiday club shipment. So if you guys are club members, you got the email about it. If you didn't opt in and now you're looking at things being like, well, I want all of this in my belly, then make sure you touch base with us, call us, or hop online, email us. We're small. If you call us, if you email us, we're responding. It's not like we've got some big situation that's going to filter out emails. We're here. I've told people I'll literally take pictures with my cell phones of things and send it to you to make sure you have the best shopping experience, gift giving experience, everything. So this is one of those things that will be arriving for a lot of our club members and then in store, both the ranch and downtown. Thank you so much, Chef Jeff, for stopping by and being with us. I really appreciated your skill, your passion, learning about, you taught me a lot already. So this is good. And hopefully I will get home and not burn the place down by browning butter or crisping sage. Who knows?
Okay. I have confidence in you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on. This will be on our Instagram. This is going to be on our Facebook. This is going to be on our YouTube channel, so people can subscribe to that and always be in the know and follow along with you so that they can grab the goodies, the recipe, and replay this and follow along when they are trying to pull something together for family. So thank you very much for this. I think everybody appreciates getting a little tutorial from such a fantastic chef. Appreciated.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. I'm going to talk about next week, but you are free to go. I know you've got some wine and some food to enjoy. We have Mint and Craft. I want to make sure that I'm saying that correctly. Located in San Luis Obispo, and they are going to be joining us next week. Avocado Toast. Avocado Toast is one of those simple joys of life. They are going to show us how to do it right. We're not just slapping some avocado on the toast, which is what I do, so I'm not judging, but they're going to show us how to do it right, and they're going to be doing it with our lemon olive oil. Oh, this is a Meyer lemon, so this is fantastic for baking as well as for cooking, as well as cocktails. If you've been following along, you know that this has been in some cocktails like that Jim Martini from Bethel Road. Yeah, so also, if you have been following along and you're thinking back to a recipe and thinking, God, I really wish that I remember what was in there, what the bundle was, because gifting this sort of stuff is perfect for the season. I love the idea of buying a bundle for somebody and printing out the recipe and giving that to them. So not only do they have some really quality products, but they also have a jump off point of what to do with it. Maybe they're a cocktail person, so you've created a cocktail bundle for them. Maybe they are a chef and would love to make the farro or do the salmon roulette or any of the other fantastic meals that we've had, the pizzas from Broken Earth. I mean, there's so many great options. You've got every skill level cooking wise available to you. Whether people are like, oh, I'm just a little tentative on this, but I'll make a cocktail, or the cooks out there. So you can go onto our website, type in the show name, and that usually pulls up the recipe and the bundle. If not, if you recall what the item was, salmon roulette, you can just type in salmon and it will pop up with all of the salmon dishes and then the recipe and the bundle. So it's pretty easy. If you get stuck, give us a call, give us an email. That's what we're here for. We are just retail space right now. We are open though. Downtown, we're open. The ranch, we're open. So come visit us. We are still available for shopping, for gifting. We ship. The shipping is $10 flat rate anywhere in the States. And you don't have to worry about, you know, cutting your finger, doing wrapping or anything. So it is a perfect situation. Give us a call. Say, I want to ship basil olive oil to 3 different people. Boop, boop, boop. We'll ship them all out. You don't have to worry about it. That's what we're here for, to make your holidays a little bit easier in this really wacky time. Thank you so, so much for being with us. I will see you this time next week. Mint and Craft, avocado toast. The simplest pleasure. And one of those meals that you can do breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, after dinner, just with friends while you're wine tasting. I mean, it's just one of those wonderful meals that you can use for pretty much everything, and a great jump off spot for poached eggs and for salmon and for as a side. So it'll be a good way for us to get a really good avocado toast under our belts to wow our friends and family. Have a fantastic weekend. Jump online, check us out, join the club if you haven't already, and I will see you this time next week, 2 o'clock, December 14th, right? Yes. 18th. It's December 18th. And we will be with Mint and Craft, and they're making an avocado toast. So we'll see you then, okay? Have a fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy and stay healthy, everybody. Bye.